Welcome back.
Welcome.
The boys are back. We had a wee break there. It was Bank Holiday Monday, so we couldn't get in here.
I know. Free bank holidays this month as well.
We're going to talk about bottle jobs today because Arsenal are massive bottle jobs. They're a disgrace.
Oh, no.
They've disgraced.
I know you're wearing the top. I didn't even wear mine today. I was like, nah.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll run through the previous seasons and bottle jobs that we've seen before and stuff, and we've got to compare them. We've got to see what fan base we can annoy the most.
I'm going to try this. I know you just opened it, but what were you on? Monster Ultra?
Monster Energy Ultra. I think the Ultra is where there's no sugar. Yeah. And it's watermelon.
That's decent.
Yeah.
No, it's actually quite
First
decent.
sip's good.
I went through a stage last year. I remember whenever I went to work every day, the original one, like just the green and black can, I had been addicted to them. Like the sugar one and the caffeine one. And every day I had to get a Monster every day to get to work.
Oh, to survive?
Just to get through it.
Yeah.
And I went for about 2 weeks. And then I realised I'd spent about 50 quid on Monster over 2 weeks. I was like, nah, I need to stop that.
Yeah. Caffeine reliance is a real thing.
You do get that at times, but I went off it since then. But that one's good.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Why do I feel a bit dry after it? I don't know if I'm a big fan of this.
It's not quenching your thirst at all. It's, you know what? I would take that to the gym with me.
Yeah.
I would take that to the gym.
I've done freestyle football sessions with a can of Monster, and there's a hell of a difference, let me tell you. I go for about 4 hours instead of one.
It gives you that second win quicker or something, and you just feel like you can go all day, get a wee bit of music on the go.
Yeah, you get hyped.
Aye.
Yeah, no, it's alright. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
5?
Not overly impressed.
I'd say 7. I'd pick up again.
It's something different, so it's nice that way, but you give it a 7.
I'll give it a 7.
7's decent.
7's pretty decent. Yeah, no, I'm not...
7 means good.
Yeah.
5 means it's okay. It's in the middle.
I'm not big on going into a shop and buying energy drink. I don't really do it.
Yeah.
If I was at a gym and this was in the vending machine and I needed something, I would take it. So I'll give it a 7.
Yeah.
Decent.
Fair enough.
But Arsenal's performance yesterday was far from a 7.
Oh yeah.
It was more your direction of a 5.
I was watching it while pubbing, so half watching it.
I was watching it at home.
Yeah.
And
wasn't impressed.
No. Very, very poor. Even, you can sort of tell if Arsenal's going to have a bad game just by watching them walk out of the tunnel. I don't know what it is. Like, it was the same way the City match away. Like, you just sort of knew we didn't look up to it.
Do you find that when you look at the team sheet that there's some real issues there? Because I feel like Arsenal have worked out their first 11. So in terms of this season, they've exceeded expectations big time. Because they've got their team together. Arteta knows what he's doing. They've got the right players for the right system, etc.
Yep.
But as soon as you start to bring the subs on, that's where it goes wrong, because the players aren't that same standard.
Yeah.
So obviously the main difference would be Man City. They bring on Mahrez, Foden, Gundogan, whoever it may like. Who knows coming off the bench?
I think Laporte came on as well at one point. Like, was just like, how do you bring on?
They're bringing on centre backs that would be Arsenal's best centre backs.
I was like, how? Like, we've got Kivior in there, and we were speaking about it, and I actually thought he had a good game against Newcastle, and I think he played the game before that as well, and he's been playing well. And then taking the knee in the middle of the game, like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing, fam? Like, the ball is in play. The ball's actually just been cleared from your box, and it's come back out to the same
place. Cleared, it's even worse.
Yes, it's at the edge of your area with the same Brighton player crossing it in again. Yeah. Like, you know he's going to whip it in again. There's nothing else to do. Mandem takes a knee and lets the other guy head it in.
I've never seen I think that's the most ridiculous thing an Arsenal defender's done in a long, long time, and that's saying something. We had guys like Senderos and Squillaci.
I was about to say,
and they've done bad things.
That's more like, that's like fucking Mustafi standard.
Yeah.
Even Koscielny sometimes would have been clumsy.
Yeah, I've never seen Mustafi do something so stupid where you're like, the ball's going to come back into the box and the striker's here, like right beside him. It's like, maybe I should defend, but he's like, I better fix my boot here.
But that annoys me. I think footballers, this is obviously Kivior's tried to play off that he's been injured. He's trying to get the ref to blow the whistle.
Oh, what else can you do? It's so embarrassing on so many levels.
And when it doesn't work, you're like, you're pretending to be hurt.
Yeah.
Like, just play football. Focus on your job. Do you know what I mean?
He played a Europa League game, his debut, and as you can tell, I'm not impressed by this guy at all.
Oh, that was horrible.
The Europa League, I think he was at fault for the first goal, and then the second goal was a header from a corner that came in. Kiwior was meant to like jump with the header, but he ducked. He kind of got scared of the striker, and he scored. And I was like, this guy can't play for Arsenal again. And obviously he's not good enough.
Yeah.
And the last goal, Brighton's third goal, he was just jogging back, and the guy who was obviously right in front of him, if you're making a sprint there, you stop him. He didn't sense the danger at all. He let the guy run, and then that's why Stefan finished that third one as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he's doing playing for Arsenal. I think we were thinking like, oh, Rob Holding's having a bad time here. We can't get any worse than that, and then we throw him in.
It is worse.
Yeah.
Nearly. Yeah, no, definitely. The squad for next year, we need to dip into more, because even Zinchenko, I think we missed him. He's got a lot of hate recently
from me.
Yeah, I think we do, just because he can play midfield and like sort of.
Well, that's
we can overrun the midfield, because he'll just invert into a midfielder.
Yeah,
but we didn't have it. Tierney's a proper left back, and actually Tierney was unreal. Matoma was against Tierney, because that's Matoma's wing. Had no joy. He was getting no change out of Tierney at all.
No, he
switched wings.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Then he switched wings.
I was going to say he done Ben White a couple of times.
Ripped a new one. Matoma took him on every time and had so much joy, but he was getting nothing on Tierney's side, and Brighton seen, right, go to Ben White's side, because you're going to get by Ben White and Kivior all day. Gabriel and Tierney had it on lockdown. So no, we definitely shown signs yesterday of a weak squad, especially when you bring on Smith Rowe as well. Hasn't played all season, and Smith Rowe's my guy. I love Smith Rowe, but he's so unfit. Just didn't impact the game at all. Just
no. It was quite a scrappy game, to be fair. It didn't even suit Smith Rowe.
No.
It's weird he took Odegaard off.
Yeah, and that's your captain. That's your main man.
Yeah.
But all in all, that's it. Title's done. You can clip me up from episode 2.
Well, with your confidence, does that not suggest that Arsenal have really bottled it here, or not?
This is it. Like, I think whenever we were speaking to Gary Neville, I was like, how's City going to win the league?
Yeah.
We're winning week in, week out. And like, I think every Arsenal fan at one point had that belief, though. I know you were sort of sceptical, but you must have believed at one point.
It was like, it's all well and good getting excited, and I thought, yeah, great chance and all that.
12 points clear, man.
There was definitely a point where when Arsenal were sitting on top, and I thought, right, if I had to put my money somewhere, who's going to win the league? I would have backed Arsenal. There was a point, maybe for like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe after that, when they won away at Villa, the Martinez game, I thought, oh flip, Arsenal are favourites here. And maybe the couple of weeks after that,
Bournemouth game as well.
Yeah. It seemed written then. Yeah, but there was always that chance that they were going to lose a couple, or I think the fear with Arsenal was that they were going to lose somebody like Jesus, which did happen, Saliba, which did happen, and Partey, which happened for the odd game. So
and if you kept all them fit but played awful.
Partey's a weird one.
He's been dropped past month. But he's fit, like.
It's strange.
But he's just poor.
But he was the one we were most worried about losing. But Saliba was a big one.
Huge.
Do you think if Saliba stayed fit, Arsenal would be still sitting in pole position or not?
No. I think even if Saliba's fit, we still draw them games, I would have said. I don't think it's down to Saliba. I just don't buy it. I don't buy into that. Oh, you miss Saliba, so you like.
I think the drop off from Saliba to Holding is.
It's a big drop off. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But would we have still drawn and lost the game? Probably.
Or beat City, probably not.
City would have still beat us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Arsenal bought the league because we got beat City home and away. We bought the league because we got beat by Everton, which Saliba played in that game that day. By the way, we drew at Liverpool, drew at West Ham, drew at Southampton.
That 3 in a row was devastating.
That's awful. I think we've got 7 points out of the possible 21 in this run-in.
Yeah, they didn't win for a month. Yeah, they lost to City, then they beat Chelsea, but anybody can beat Chelsea. And
we're relying on Chelsea this Sunday, by the way, to get something out of City, so they don't win the league that day. But they're playing Chelsea, mate. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're getting spanked. So, because we were hopeful, like. Man City had this massive game against Real Madrid over 2 legs here. Semi-final, massive game. Like, they're monumental matches that you only play a couple in your lifetime. We thought City might be too focused on that they'll not perform in the league.
That was the hope, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was the hope. The hope was we beat Brighton yesterday, and Everton puts up a fight,
a freak win. So, yeah, and then
because it's that good as soon,
and then it goes down to the final day. Then yeah.
But City they played well against Real Madrid, and they went in the weekend and battered Everton.
Yeah,
and it's like this team probably is just going to win the treble now.
Isn't it weird? Like after all that, City could probably win by like 7, 8, 9 points. That's mad, isn't it?
And what's even more mad
yeah,
is we've spent 93% of this season on first position.
that's hilarious.
We are the...
There's
I know I say we are the ball jobs, but we are the king of staying on top of the league the most and losing it. I think we are top. I've just literally got the stat here. We're the top 3. Obviously, first being this year, which is 93%. Second place is Arsenal 2002, 2003, where we were in first position 71% of the season. And then 2007, 2008, we were there 57% first position. And then it was Liverpool 2 seasons ago.
I remember 08 quite well. That was the Eduardo season.
Yeah, Eduardo one. Liverpool 2 seasons ago, whenever they pushed City right to the last bit, again bottled it, and they spent 51% of the time there. And then in fifth position, it's Arsenal again, which was 2013 and 14 season, which is 48% we spent in first.
Unbelievable.
So we're the
90,
team.
What?
93. We've
There was
spent
a few
93%.
stats like that. There was like, you know, at the start of the season, coming up to Christmas and stuff, no team has ever had a better start to the season and not won the league.
Yep.
This is the most points accumulated to not win the league.
Top of Christmas.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
You always win the league if you're top of Christmas as well.
World Cup changed that a wee bit, but yeah, the same point. And yeah, now that stayed top of the league for longer than anybody without winning it.
That's a joke of a stat.
Yeah.
Like, that means Man City spent 93% of their season not in first.
Yeah, and right at the end.
And they've spent 7% and won it.
It's the best way to win it, isn't it? We've actually made it quite fun for City.
But again, ball job chat. We've handed them the league.
So you think they are bottle jobs?
I hate to say it. I don't want to say we are, because it's a harsh term. Like, look at the progress we made on Arteta. We were 5th last year. We missed out 1/4 to Spurs. That game against Newcastle, everyone turned on like Arteta. I remember it was like Arteta out. We missed 4th. How on earth have we bottled 4th? We did bottle 4th. Bottled last year.
I can explain everything.
100%.
Last year it was Rob Holding's fault.
Because that one at Spurs.
Arsenal came up against Spurs with 3 games left, and they were in pole position and
got a red card.
Yeah, he got
a penalty.
Stupid red card. No, just went. And
it was a red card.
That
was it.
But Arsenal started that game better. First 20 minutes, Arsenal were on top, and then I thought Arsenal are going to win this game, and then obviously him getting sent off changed everything. Spurs win, and then the Newcastle, they just went and didn't perform. But if they beat Spurs, they still would have finished top 4.
Yeah, because we were taking 3 points away from them.
Yeah. And then this year, I would just, you can put it down to that Arsenal were not expected to do so well. So 100%. How can you be a bottle job if you've exceeded expectations? That's
where I sit with it. But then again, if you are looking to the other side of the argument, you spend 93% of the time up there. You are 12 points ahead of City. We were in control of our own destiny, like.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? We were in control, complete control. So we've just gave the control to City. So we've lost it. We have gave it away freely. Even if you do get beat by City home and away, which I think we always would have, no matter if Saliba was there or not. We drew against West Ham, Southampton, Liverpool, got beat by Everton. They were the games we gave it away.
Yeah.
You can't be 12 points ahead in the league and lose it and not be considered bottling it.
It's just such a harsh word, isn't it?
But it's so harsh
to be, because you're getting labelled. You're getting labelled if
you are.
That word, yeah.
But I'm proud of the team. Like, it's hard if for any Arsenal fan out there it's not proud. I don't know. I wouldn't understand either, because how could you not be? Second is still losing in a lot of ways if you have a winner's mentality.
Yeah.
But to be where we were, man, I didn't think we were anywhere near it, and we've won 10 London derbies this year.
It's wild.
10 London. No team has ever done that. Beating Tottenham home and away, Chelsea home and away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would usually say that if a team really did bottle it, you would consider getting rid of the manager, but that's just nowhere near the case with Arsenal. So
I think Arteta will be under pressure though next year. Because if he doesn't win a trophy, we didn't win a trophy this year. We went out of the League Cup really early, FA Cup really early. I know it was the City, still early rounds. We did lose to Sporting in a way that is disappointing on penalties.
Yeah,
we put all our eggs in one basket. We're out of every trophy, so we can focus on the league. We're 12 points ahead. We don't have to play midweek anymore, and we still didn't do it. So I think Arteta will look at himself, because I think he is a winner.
Yeah.
I think he will want to go on next year and push again. But he'll be under pressure straight away, mate. And he needs to sign people.
Yeah, so.
100%.
He bought himself loads of time.
No, I think if we don't
the FA Cup win.
If he doesn't build on what we've done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The signings will be important. Imagine if Arsenal didn't sign anyone, then you would start questioning things.
Who would you think Arsenal need to go after? What positions do we need backup in?
Just need to strengthen all areas. That sounds very basic, but it's true.
Every position needs another player, sort of thing.
Well, obviously you can't do that, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think they need stronger, better centre backs. In the ideal world, I see Arsenal's position as I would want them to sign a better centre back than they already have. Someone that's as good as Saliba.
Yeah.
As good, and I would have Gabriel as your third choice.
Yeah.
Sub, because he's a good backup player.
Yeah.
I don't think he is
You don't think he's a starter for any
a league
team?
Winner?
No.
They
wouldn't play in the Man City team.
No, absolutely not. Well, City are freaks, but yes.
That's the comparison we have, though. This is is why we don't think we bought it, because Man City are just Man City.
Same way we can talk about the other teams that have bottled or not. Because Liverpool
that season 2 years ago.
Liverpool have been in the lead and close before, and then lost it to Pep's Man City. But I feel like when it's Pep City, you don't really call that a bottle job, do you? Because they win every game towards the end of the season.
This year they went so far. Recently they've won 11 wins on the trot to pit Arsenal to the league. 11 wins on the trot, mate.
I think it's 12, isn't it? 12 now?
Is it? Oh, it might be 12 actually after a weekend. But
that's nuts.
That's nuts.
I suggested that before. I was like, if City win every game, then it's definitely theirs.
Yeah. And Gary Neville actually said it on weeks ago in the overlap, because a lot of Arsenal fans were giving Gary Neville stick, and rightly so. I think Gary doesn't give Arsenal enough praise, but he said, look, Man City can just win 14 games in a row.
Yeah.
And they literally have. And they literally will. So, and it was the same with the Liverpool season 2 years ago or whatever, where they were top for 53%.
But we can write them like they're not bottle jobs. Can we go back to 2013-14, where Liverpool were bottle jobs? We can talk about them.
The slip.
Yeah, the slip. Do you know what was fascinating about that game? So just to frame the whole scenario, Liverpool are top of the league. I had the graphic there, so I'll get it up.
Yes.
Liverpool sitting on 80 points, Man City on 71, so 9-point gap there. But
big enough gap.
It is a big gap, but City had 2 games in hand. So whenever they won those both, which obviously they did, they were only 3 points behind.
And then Demba goes in, scores.
Yeah, the thing about that was Liverpool were going into that Chelsea game and they didn't need to win. They needed a draw to stay in pole position with 2 games to go. 2 relatively easy games.
Look at that.
So imagine losing the league from that position. You just look like you're so far clear.
3 games to go, 5 points.
Chelsea are obviously up there with Mourinho, who won all the big games that season, but they were never really fancied, especially at this stage.
Yeah, look at City. How does City go on and win that?
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? But yeah, obviously they won their 2 games in hand, so it puts them up to 77.
Aye.
With a superior goal difference. But that was the thing. If Liverpool just drew with Chelsea, 'cause that's all they needed. You go to Stamford Bridge, you take a draw, like most seasons, especially when Chelsea are up sitting there, it's against Mourinho. But the funny thing was, Mourinho set up in such a way that Chelsea were obviously going to take a 0-0. if Liverpool decided to just keep possession, they wouldn't have conceded a goal.
No.
But they were so desperate and they kept going forward. And obviously, you remember the second goal at the end, where they lumped it up to Fernando Torres and he just passed it to Willian.
That's right, yeah.
Because they were so desperate and all. But yeah, the slip was big and it was unfortunate.
And that was Brendan Rodgers' Liverpool side.
Yeah.
That, had Luis Suarez in it, arguably one of the best players in the league.
Suarez, Sturridge, Sterling.
Suarez was on fire, man.
Some front line, absolutely ridiculous.
On fire. Yeah, that year is definitely a ball job.
That's pure ball job. And then they lost 2-0 to Chelsea, and then the week after they were 3-0 up against Palace, thinking, let's get a good goal difference
3
here.
each.
Yeah. That's nuts.
That was. I know. Again, comparing it to Arsenal this year, we've been in positions like that. Like we talked about the West Ham game and 2-0 up. When you do start going away from home and leading and then slip it up, like it is signs of seriously wobbling.
Yeah.
Especially to the pressure.
Yeah.
And I think Liverpool wobbled that day.
Yeah, and I think Liverpool is worse than Arsenal's because they were so convinced.
They thought it was theirs.
A lot of Arsenal fans were convinced, but realistically everybody knew that City were right there.
Yeah.
Liverpool completely capitulated in a way that was never seen before.
And they had never won the Prem at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the whole thing. They were going to win their first ever Premier League. So it was even a bigger deal, probably even a bigger expectation. Even though Arsenal this year, we haven't won the Prem in 20 years. So we still have a good expectation as well. But yeah, I would label that year, definitely that year, a bottle job.
They've ranked above Arsenal on the bottle scale. Nice.
I don't know if Liverpool fans will agree, to be fair, because they'll see the stat 93% of the time on top of the league and we lost it.
Oh, they were so convinced, it was hilarious.
But that year was...
The 3-3 draw was nuts. It's not even like it was that significant because Liverpool would have lost the league anyway, whether it was goal difference or whatever, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny to see that. How can you go and draw each after being 3-0 up in a title race?
Yeah, it can't happen, can it?
No. Second last game. Was Newcastle United. If you go way back, they bottled the league to Man United. Yeah. And then there was like Fergie mind games going on.
That's right. He was saying a lot of stuff in the press conference and all, wasn't he?
Ferguson was doing his classic of complaining about fixtures and whatever else could come up. And then obviously that got under Kevin Keegan's skin. So he went on a rant. It was I would love it if we beat them. Yeah. And he's proper like giving it. And I was watching a wee thing with David Ginola on Sky Sports there, and he was saying about how Newcastle really should have won it that year.
Yeah, should have. Yeah. How many points clear were they with United? Probably the same as Liverpool there.
Don't know. It was like 10-ish or something.
Yeah, it was like 9 or 12 points ahead.
I don't know if there was games in hand involved there, but yeah, it was.
But I remember like Gary Neville talks about it a lot on Sky Sports as well about that year.
Yeah.
And how the mind games come into it, and how just if you haven't been there and done it before, like Newcastle had, top of the league, not really feeling like maybe they should be there, going on to win it. And
the nerves kicking in.
And then United with the know-how comes in. They know how to see out the season. It's the same again. It's the same with Arsenal this year. We haven't been near the top in 20 years, and we find ourselves up there, and it's like an elephant in a tree. Like it's going to come down at some point because it just does not belong there. Like and Arsenal find themselves there, and that's the same with Newcastle. So you could say Newcastle bottled it.
But that was 96, and
that was way back.
I haven't done enough research because we kind of did this at short notice, so I don't know.
I was only born. We were only born that year.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
So we have no regulation of it.
Yeah, too bad, so sad. I'll watch it. Hopefully, there's some wee documentaries about it and stuff.
What about the Man United? Whenever Man City won their first Prem,
yeah, 2012. People don't see this as a bottle job, but
they don't.
I was convinced Wayne Rooney and co had wrapped it up. There was about 3-4 games left, and I'm going to look up this result now. But I'm convinced that
I think you were right. The 4-4
draw with Everton. Yeah, because they were 4-2 up. I'm going to look it up now.
Neville again spoke about it recently on commentary about how Arsenal this year needed just to win every game just to make sure they pushed them right to the end, just the same way City done to United. And because United drew, City smelt blood and went, we can actually win this, we can nick it. But that season, you could consider a bottle job. But then,
100%.
But then United reacted. Sir Alex was going to retire that year if he won the league, and he thought, I'm not retiring until I win the league, and we're going to win the league next year. And they did.
Extra year, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's impressive, isn't it? That was it. Because I was laughing so much because I hate Man United. I always hated Man United, especially more then because they were so good as well. But I was just like, please, anybody but United. So City were right on their tail.
Yeah.
And Man United here, after United had led 4-2, the result means Man City can go top of the league on goal difference if they beat United at the Etihad Stadium. That was when Company scored the header.
Yes.
And they did do it. So I was cheering City on the whole way. And I seen this. Everton Man United was on in the living room. I'd lost interest because United were well clear. And they're 4-2 up. And then late on, it might have been stoppage time, the equaliser. But there you go, Stephen Pienaar scored.
Yeah, shout out.
4-4 draw. It was ridiculous. I was cracking up. It was so funny. And then it made that Man City Man United game way more interesting.
Yeah.
And then obviously City managed to do it. And then imagine if City lost to QPR. That would have been the biggest bottle job, no question.
Well, they were 2-0 down.
Yeah. Oh no! No, they went 1-0 up.
1-0 up, and then
Zabaleta, and they were 2-1 down.
And then it went 2-0. Sorry, you're right. 2-1.
Edin Dzeko.
And then Dzeko came in, clutch. Then Balotelli with his first ever assist as a professional.
Yeah, I didn't know that until years later.
Never assisted a goal in his life. Never passed the ball. He's on the floor and just taps it to Aguero. And then that piece of commentary when it's like, Aguero! Like, that's just legendary. And he got a statue there. He got a statue put up.
Aguero did?
Yeah, that moment of him taking the t-shirt off and like celebrating
I have seen it, yeah.
There's like a statue of him with like the t-shirt and it's t-shirt flying behind him, and
yeah,
that's pretty. He deserves that, to be fair.
It was even sweeter as well. You know, the way I was cheering for City just purely to be against United, that Man United had thought they won the league as well. So they were at Sunderland. They had won 1-0 and time was up. And in the audience, in the crowd, sorry, they obviously know that it's stoppage time in the other game and they're 2-1 down. So there's no chance. So there's Man United fans celebrating and all.
It's always good when the title race goes to the last day.
Yeah.
Like, was it last year City won it on the last day, but they were getting beat as well?
Yeah.
They were getting beat by Brighton.
Have a habit
was
of
it
that.
Brighton?
Who was it?
It might have been Brighton.
Villa? I think it was Villa.
Oh, it might be Villa. Aye, you're right.
Gundogan.
Gundogan, who we were talking about off camera. Gundogan becomes prime Messi
when City need him.
And because Liverpool were winning their last game, and I remember the crowd being lifted. Like, they were all basically shouting that City were like 1-0 down or 2-0 down.
And that one, City actually were 2-0 down.
And City were 2-0 down.
I was convinced it was over at one point.
Yeah. And then they just came back into it, and like, City love doing that.
I got to enjoy those moments because I was cheering against Liverpool. It's just like, don't let them
do it.
Yeah. So I've been cheering for City all the way, and now it's come back to bite me here
because now they beat us to it. But
they've done the same to Arsenal.
We haven't pushed them yet. We haven't pushed them to the last day.
Yeah.
So it's a failure on our part for sure.
But Man United major bottle jobs that season, and I'd like to look up a few more of the stats, but it's difficult. But yeah, to be 4-2 up against Everton and draw 4 each, and then lose against the rivals, with, you know, that's all in the space of the last 4 or 5 games. So bottle jobs.
Yeah.
Are they
the biggest?
Do you know what the thing is about these bottle job stories? It's usually the fact that they're not meant to be there in the first place. So Liverpool and Arsenal in these seasons we're talking about exceeded expectations anyway. Yeah. Man United were expected to win the league that year. They were up cruising. They'd done their job. Then they had an unexpected draw. You know, Everton, you wouldn't have given them a hope before the game.
Yeah.
And then they lost in the big game that mattered. So United are up there with biggest bottle jobs that season.
I think you're right, because, as you said, should have won it. Comfortable.
It's expectation versus what happens a lot of the time. So with Arsenal, it's not like, oh, they're such bottle jobs, you know, they had it right in their hands. It is that, but it's also they weren't meant to be there.
Yeah.
So you can kind of
if we had started this podcast, start of the season, and we were maybe doing our expectations for the season, where's Arsenal finishing, we would say
nobody says second.
We would have definitely never said that. We would have said if we can challenge for fourth, beat Spurs to it, or just nick it from. Yeah,
it was like if we can get into the top 4, that would be.
If we can nick fourth, and maybe have half a decent cup run, we'll be happy.
Yeah, win Europa, I would have said.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans would have said win Europa, and we maybe should have, because we have had a poor. Like, some fans will think we've had a poor season, because if you think about it, we've won nothing. We've done the Spurs, pushed them to the end trophy sort of thing, put pressure on them. But it's not really that. At the end of the day, like, you think about it, we've been actually pushing for a league title. Like, we were in a title race like all season. And played some amazing football.
That's
all season,
more fun, isn't it?
And like, we as Arsenal fans, we've never had that really for a long time anyway. And definitely in our lifetime growing up as Arsenal fans, we haven't really. I know we won it 2002 or whatever, but we were really young.
I didn't even care about the 04 one. I just got into football like the year after that.
So I was pretty much the same. I was about 2005 or 6 really. So for us Arsenal fans, we haven't seen it.
08, I thought they were going to win the league.
08 again,
2013-14, that year Liverpool won it. Nope, they didn't win it. That year Liverpool thought they were going to win it. The Suarez year, Aaron Ramsey was on fire. I thought Arsenal here, we have a real
even
chance
the Leicester year.
That's right. Yeah, Arsenal have had a few runs, but they usually capitulate and end up finishing fourth.
I think Spurs were the biggest ball jobs out. Spurs, that's a season as well.
Yeah.
Because Spurs should have won that year. Leicester won it.
The only thing I was thinking was, yes, you're right, but Leicester did accumulate a lot of points, and they were... I'm sure they were on top for a lot of it. So it was like Spurs should have done better.
I think
and they should have won the league.
Home and away is that year as well.
Did they?
I think Spurs beat Leicester home and away.
I thought Arsenal were the only team to do that in that season.
Or maybe it was Arsenal, maybe I'm thinking of.
Yeah. But both Arsenal and Spurs had good shouts at the jobs.
We both... For Leicester to beat Arsenal and Spurs to a trophy is...
It's mental, isn't it?
It's mental, but you can't take it away from Leicester. They're amazing.
Yeah. I think it's hard to put it there because Leicester were actually in the lead for a long spell. There was no point where they flipped position because of a bad result.
We mustn't have spent... Like the statistic I had, there was no percentage for that year, so we mustn't have really even been on top at all. No,
there was one point where, do you remember Danny Welbeck's last minute winner against Leicester?
I can't actually.
That was a huge moment.
No,
mate, I thought at that moment I was like, oh, Arsenal have won the league here.
I can't remember that.
What? Ozil whipped it in. Vardy won a penalty. Leicester went 1-0 up. I forget who scored the equaliser, but it was deep into stoppage time. And I was listening on the radio for some reason, I don't know why, and curled in a free kick. Danny Welbeck flicks on the header. They all went mental, running towards the corner flag. It was like, oh my god, Arsenal top! It was that because Leicester became the main competitors, and then we beat them last minute. And I was like, it's over, lads. This is it. 2016.
So that's another good year. That's a year I didn't actually watch a lot of football that year because I was I done a lot of travelling. I was in the Philippines for a month, and then I was in New York for 4 months.
Flip me.
So I done a lot of travelling, and there was no channels to watch the Prem really.
Soccer dude.
Yeah,
you had to be up at 6 a.m. or something.
So I didn't actually watch a lot of it, but I followed it still, and I knew what was going on, but I didn't watch it a lot. But yeah, that year was a year where like you could consider Spurs and Arsenal ball jobs nearly, but.
Yeah,
as you said, Leicester probably were just the only ones running for it. It was like a one-horse race, really.
In the end, yeah.
In the end of it all. So at the end of it, Arsenal 2022/3. Are we saying bottle?
I'm saying wobble. You can swing it that way if you want. Wobble, yeah. You can swing it that way if you want, but I would put them as the 3rd or 4th biggest bottle jobs in Prem history. So
it definitely gets ranked up there. 100% because of the 93%.
The statistics are big.
It has to be up there. We can't hide from that or shy away from that as Arsenal fans, unfortunately. But yeah, I would say it's probably 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah,
and behind United,
Liverpool,
and maybe potentially Liverpool.
Yeah.
So between them 3, you can sort out a top 2. But I think 3rd would be Arsenal, and then you can put Liverpool or United 1 or 2, whatever.
Yeah, I think we've worked it out. Yeah. Yeah. Since '92, by the way, I had no clue what was happening in the 80s and stuff. Actually, so Liverpool again, Anfield '89. Arsenal had to go. Arsenal had to go to Anfield and win by 2 clear goals. Guess what? They did it. Liverpool strong favourites.
I actually had, whenever I became a season ticket holder for Arsenal in 2007, 8. They sent me a wee package. They would send you packages every month, like. Just sort of history stuff and all that, and they sent me this box, and it was a whole Arsenal box and magazine, and there was some merch in there as well of that match, and it had the old Arsenal badge and all. It was really cool, and it was just all about that win at Anfield. We had won up with 2 clear goals, and won the league. I don't even know if I have it anymore, but it was sitting on top of my wardrobe my whole life. I don't know where it is now, but. Yeah, I had a whole collection of it, mate. So I had read about it and like looked at all the pictures and all, and they sent me a fixture list and all of that year and a full timetable of results. It was like really detailed. It was mad, like. But yes, I sort of knew that quite well.
Yeah, which was cool. If you're a proper football nerd, that's a dream. Right?
Oh, it was a dream.
Yeah,
it was a dream for me as a kid. Like I was like 8 or 9, and I was like just really getting into the whole swing of things. And it was fascinating at the time.
Nice.
So yeah. But yeah, that's it. It's a wrap.
Yep. We'll see you next week. Might have a wee guest on. Who knows?
We'll see. See you later.